Alright, we are going to distribute the root 15 into both of our terms because of the parentheses. So when I multiply the radicals, whatever's inside multiplies by each other and whatever's in front of it multiplies. So when I distribute, I get the square root of 15 times 3 on the first one, plus 5 is on the outside and there's nothing here, so the 5 is all on its own on the outside, and the 15 times 5. Now I want to try and break down the 15 so that I can take values out of the radical. 15 breaks down to 5 times 3, and the 3 stays, plus 5 times 3 times 5, breaks down to 15, and then the 5 stays. I can take out a 3, and I can take out a 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and the 3 is left alone on the inside of the radical. Alright, let's try it again. Here are my parentheses. I'm going to distribute the radical in. I distribute it. The numbers outside are multiplied by each other. And then because this does not have a radical, it just stays root 5. I distribute it to the next one. We have a negative times a negative makes a positive 5 on the outside, with a 5 times 2 on the inside of the radical. We cannot take anything out of the radical, so we just simplify it. Negative 4 root 5 plus 5 root 5 times 2 is 10. On 19, we're trying to get the radical out of the denominator. So if I want to cancel out the denominator, I'm going to multiply it by itself, and I will multiply the top by the same thing. I have to do whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Root 20 times 4 goes on the top, and then the square root of 4 times 4 goes on the bottom. Now what happens is this 4 now is allowed to go out of the radical, and nothing is left inside. Then the 20, we can break that down more. We can break that down to 4 times 5, which means the 4's can leave, and the root 5 is left inside. Now 4 over 4 reduces, and we're left with root 5. Alright, we need to get rid of the radical, so we're going to multiply by, let's multiply just by the radical and get rid of the root 9. Times by root 9, times the top by root 9. Oh, actually, there's something special about the square root of 9. 9 can break down to 3 times 3, which means they can actually leave. 5 times 3 is 15. Done. Root 2 over 15. Our last section is complex numbers. We need to simplify the expression. I have 6 minus I minus 5 minus 2I. I combine the 6 and the negative 5, becomes a 1. The negative I and the negative 2I is minus 3I. Six plus 2I plus 8 minus 3i, combined the, let's see, the 6 and the 8, 14, and then 2i minus 3i is a minus I. Eight plus 5i plus 3 minus 8i, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 minus 8 is negative 3i. Eight minus 1 minus 2i plus I. 8 minus 1 is 7. Negative 2i plus I is a negative 1i. Now when they are side by side, we have to multiply them. So we have negative 7 times 3 is negative 21i squared. So that's what happens when I multiply those two together, so they're gone. But I still left over 1 minus 3i. Now I distribute in, so I get, actually let's see, I squared. If you remember, I squared is equal to a negative 1. I can change that right now. So if I get rid of I squared, I would have to put a negative 1 here, and it would change this to a positive 21 times 1 minus 3i. Now when I distribute the 21 in, I get 21 minus 63i. Alright, let's try it again. 5 times negative 6, so I'm just multiplying these two together, is negative 30 with 2 i's, so I squared. The negative 2 minus 3i drops down because I haven't multiplied it yet. Now I want to get rid of that I squared, so I'm going to plug in that negative 1 to get rid of it, which makes this a positive 30 times negative 2 minus 3i, distributed in, negative 60 minus 90i. I have a negative 6. I need to distribute it to both terms. Negative 6 plus 6 times 2 is 12 with 1i. Now I multiply the 4i in. 4 times 1 is 4 with only 1i. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 with 2 i's, so it is squared. The I squared I can get rid of and put a negative 1, which changes that negative 8 into a positive 8. Now I have 6 and 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. 12 and 4 make a positive 16i. On the last one, we distribute the negative 3 in. Negative 3 and negative 5 make a positive 15. Negative 3 with 1i. Negative 8 times negative 5 is positive 40 with 1i. Negative 8 times that was negative 8 with 2 i's this time. I squared, I put a negative 1 in to cancel it out. that changes the two negatives into a positive 8. 15 and 8 make 23. Negative 3i and positive 40 make a positive 37i.